Hello, welcome to another Modern stream. We're going to be playing some Elementals today. This is the deck list that I submitted for the Modern Showcase this past weekend. It was, if you didn't check out that video, it's in my YouTube channel, so if you're interested in seeing more matches with the list, you can find them there. But the concept was the metagame is very mid-rangey right now. And by that I mean, decks like Murktide, decks like Blue-White Control, decks like Rhinos, all of these decks have actually proven to be towards the top of the metagame. And what was happening is when I was playing my Elementals lists, I was thinking that I was siding out Utopia Sprawl very often because you would be playing like you would bring the game down to a point where everybody is just trying to accrue the most amount of resources and trying to make sure that they are out mid-ranging their opponents, and in that point Utopia Sprawls are just dead draws, right? Like they're just terrible draws in the top. Like sure, like Utopia Sprawl in your opening hand is always great or whatever, but when you're trying to play until turns 10 plus every single matchup, what ends up happening is like the redundancy of effects like Utopia Sprawl would get into a point where you end up at a disadvantage because you have more dead draws. What also was happening is in those deck lists I was playing only 23 lands, and when I wanted to cut the sprawls, which would bring me up to 27 mana sources, which is good. But when you actually go ahead and you cut those, you end up with 23 lands, which is definitely not enough for this deck to function reliably on. So 24 lands has felt like the place to go. It also allows me to play the 4th copy of Cavernous Souls, which is very important against Blue-Red Murktide and Blue-White Control, two of the top decks in the format right now. And another reason for not wanting to play Utopia Sprawl actually is that there's spreading seas everywhere, which can just name, they can, whatever land you put in the Utopia Sprawl on, it just makes it fall off immediately, which is kind of a blowout very often, particularly out of the Blue-White Control decks. So because of that, I just ended up cutting the sprawls, and instead of the sprawls, what I did is I added some extra interaction. So we have 4 copies of Prismatic Ending, which I think it's very important for this deck to have 4 copies because of Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb is actually seeing a significant amount of play right now, and this deck kind of really struggles against Torpor Orb, so having access to 4 Prismatic Ending has been excellent. And then I added some early plays to make in the first couple of turns of the game. So we can interact with a monkey, or we can interact with like a Goblin Guide or whatever with Lightning Bolt and Prismatic Ending. Sure, we also have Solitude and Fury, but like you'd rather not use those in the early game. You'd rather save them until you have a recent Reef in play already, so you can get a little bit of extra value. Those were my points. Like that is what I was thinking about when I was building the deck list. And in place of those cards, in place of the 4 sprawls, coming off of Canister's list, I added the 24th land, which was the Cavernous Souls. I added the Flamekin Harbingers, and then I added the Endurance, because once you're playing the Flamekins, the Endurance in the main deck makes a lot of sense. And this card is just nuts right now. I think Endurance is just absolutely insane. It's been since Modern Horizons 2 was released. Like, this has been, in my opinion, the best out of all of the Elemental incarnations. There's an argument for Solitude, but like really Endurance has been the absolute MVP. I've been super impressed by this card. It's just like insane against all of the DRC decks. Now with the Phoenix deck and the Reanimator decks coming up as well, Endurance is just insane, just absolutely crazy good. So having access to the 1 copy in the main deck that you can tutor for in the combo matchups is it's just pretty good. Even against control decks, you sometimes just end step on Endurance, and now your opponent has to deal with this 3-power threat that they have really no efficient way to get rid of. The best thing they can do is like hard cast a Solitude on it or something. Like they don't really have any good ways to get rid of the 3-power body, and this clocks them pretty quickly. So very impressed by Endurance. The rest of the shell is pretty much what you would expect out of this deck. The only thing is like the Mulldrifters have made a kind of a massive comeback. Like, this card has gone from being nowhere to be seen to just kind of becoming a little bit of a staple of the format, and I'm playing the full 4 copies, counting the 4th one in the sideboard. I'm very impressed by this card. You can cast it off of the Omnath, you can make it uncounterable with Cavern, and then just ephemerate it. Like, it's just exactly what you want, particularly in a deck that really relies on having access to Recent Reef. Like, this is what gets your engine going, and having Mulldrifter is like having extra copies of Recent Reef, quote unquote. I've been very, very impressed by the Muldrifter, so all 4 copies in the deck. Disciple includes I play Moon mostly against Tron and Saga decks, Rest in Peace against Graveyard Strategies, Force of Negation against Combo, Control, etc. Endurance against the decks that I just said. Muldrifter whenever you want that extra grind power, and a couple of Engineered Explosives as extra ways to interact. Another cards that I considered are cards, for example, against Burn. That's a matchup that is not particularly easy for us, and it's another one where, you know, we really want to have access to some early interaction and stuff like that. So there's been a significant uptick in Burn lately, so I could see that also being sort of important. That's it. That's the list that we're going to be playing today. Hopefully you enjoy it, and if you do, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in round number 1. Alright, here we go. We got some lands, which is good. We got Ephemerate. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's pretty slow, but I think it's fine. I'm going to go turn 1 Steam Vents here. What's up, Hudson? How's it going? And then we can go Temple Garden. Turn 3 we can buy Kahira, and then we have something to pitch to the Solitude. Let's see what we're up against. Gobbo. Huh. So the reason why this is super interesting is because if my opponent plays another 1-drop, then we can Solitude pitch ending and Ephemerate the Solitude, and we can actually gain life. I think I'm going to go for that. It's a little bit, you know, high risk, high reward kind of play, but I think it's worth it against Burn. And then if we can connect with this Solitude, that is effectively a counter spell, right? Oh, this is Goblins. Well, this just works out perfectly then. Yep, it just works out perfectly. Please attack with everything. Well, this game is just over, right? The Gobbo also drew me infinite cards. We're just done here. Exile that one. Ephemerate. Exile that one. I would like to block. Please and thank you. Yeah, there we go. Going to LGS today, only deck is Sagaless Titan. I have no idea what the meta is. Would go normal or Karn build. I don't know, honestly. I don't know what to tell you. Do whatever your heart tells you, but I don't know what, like, it just depends on so many things. Like you're just not giving me enough information. I mean, if you don't have sagas, you just know that you're just gonna get run over, right? Unless there are more people in your situation, right? If there are more people in your situation, then you may be just fine. And by that I mean, you know, oh, also I was talking and I forgot to just play the Kahira. Whoops. I mean, I don't think it matters too much, but still, like this game is just over. But now we're just gonna start casting Furies and Solitudes. I don't know, but it's my first aerial event. I'm going anyway. Yeah, that's fair. That's actually like a good reason to go, just because it's your very first event, you know? It's fun. It's just a really good time. Mog War Marshal. Yep. Okay. So we definitely want like prismatic endings and engineered explosives. ways to interact early. We probably don't need Mold Drifter. Actually, Mold Drifter is probably better than Teferi. Teferi just seems bad. Can bounce some tokens and shit, but Endurance seems okay. Just like a good solid blocker. I'm gonna keep this. But yeah, I mean, you're just gonna play for fun. So if you enjoy more playing Karn, just play Karn. That's what I would do. Just whichever version you like the best. Personally, I would probably just play Reclaimer if I didn't have Sagas. Because I think it's the one that is the most fun for me, specifically. I guess I keep this. This Fury is kind of nuts. We need some more red cards, though. But this hand is just good enough to keep, in my opinion. We have ways to interact early. Just ending that. We may have to watch out for... Some versions of this deck sometimes play Blood Moon and stuff. Maybe that's something to watch out for. That Solitude was obviously a sick rip. Opponent be whacking. Yeah. Yeah. One of these tribes is better than the other one. See you next round. Okay, so we're playing against a Yorion gamer. I would love to have access to... I'm gonna keep this hand. I would love to have access to the Cavern of Souls. We do have the pieces that we're looking for, though. So this is probably Niv, if I had to guess. Niv means no counter magic, which is good for us. It is Niv. Look at that Splinter Twin situation that my opponent has generated over there. I mean, it's basically Splinter Twin, right? This version of Karn is the one with boat. It feels like really good boating opponent. Yep. You know that I think I don't actually own any boats? Can you believe that? How crazy is that? I would like to draw land, please. Thank you. Here is my Risen Reef. Land? Don't mind if I do. So our best draw now would be an Omnath. Ooh, Fancy Misty. Lightning Bolt. Oh, this is the 4-color mid-range deck. That's what it is. It has like Eternal Witness and a bunch of shit like that. Well, that can't cast Eternal Witness. It also has Omnath. Okay. So they're holding up counter. They would also have another lightning bolt. I think I want to go Teferi. And I'm going to plus. And then I'm gonna play Harbinger, and I'm gonna go get Omnath, and we're gonna set up for a big turn next turn. Just get Omnath and say go. We can bounce around Flamekin if we want next turn, which should be cool if we need to. Expressive Iteration. Yeah, this is just like a deck that won a challenge. Again, like this is what Modern looks like right now, so that's why I thought that it made sense the way that I built my deck. Because everybody's doing this shit, and if everybody's doing this shit, oh damn it, then like I'm just pre-boarded for everybody. So our best draw is fetch land. Fetch. Guess I'm setting up a Fury here. Am I setting up a Fury? Wait a second. Yeah, I didn't want a Fury this turn. I definitely wanted to Omnath this turn. Like, I'm not pitching an Omnath to the Fury, right? Like, again, I'm playing a matchup that it's all about card advantage. So because of that, I think I'm just going to chill this turn. Just going to pass. And next turn we can Reef into Flamekin, set up a Fury. Fury, kill my Omnath. Yeah, it's kind of annoying actually. They draw the Misty. It's not bad. So I think I want to just cast Muldrifter. And we're just gonna potentially kill this Fury. Plus there. Just say go. Mid-range battles. Oh, we canceled you with Flash, you're right. Well, this was a mistake. Well, I mean, they can kill my Teferi, but it's not really that big of a deal, actually. Because we have a second one already. But yeah, I totally forgot that I couldn't Solitude with Flash. This was obviously a mistake. I wonder if they're gonna bounce their own Fury. No. Really? You want to do that on the fetch land in your Omnath deck? Don't know how I feel about that. Alright, what do we got here? Lightning Bolt is not bad, so now we can green, blue, green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and Bolt. So let's go Recent Reef. That's a Fury. Oh, sweet. That's what I wanted to tutor for. Awesome. So now we can bolt here, Fury these. We're still missing land drops. So let's just start here. Another Fury. All right. Let's get Steam Vents. Gonna bolt the Tef. And we're going to Solitude, Pitching, Prismatic Ending. No land drop, no ephemerate. All right, pass it back. No land drop, no ephemerate is kind of rough there. Eternal Witness. No land drop, no ephemerate is rough. So this is starting to look like it's gonna be a clock race. Gonna have to start setting up for that. Put Yorion in hand. One, two, three, four, five, six. Pass the turn. Yeah. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. We're not out of it, but I make her so late from both sides. Yeah, that's just what's going on right now. Did they find Omnath? Ewit, dude. Ewit for Ewit is just fucking brutal. We probably have to evoke here. Play our own counterspell this way. We probably have to evoke here, I think. And try to luck sack an ephemerate. Ephemerate. Easy game. Now we're gonna have to, I guess, pitch Solitude. I really don't want to pitch Solitude though. They have another Fury? Jesus. Well, this is just game, right? This is just game because of the Yorion. Like, I could try to save this Teferi, but it just doesn't do anything because my opponent, I know that they have a Yorion in hand, so they just play Yorion, blink the Fury, and kill the Teferi anyway. So I guess this is now officially a clock race. Eternal Witness is too much. I'm probably gonna need to bring in Rest in Peace for this matchup. I'm gonna have to bring in Rest in Peace. Oh no 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 no. I had to, you know, play Solitude in response to that. Whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was a mistake. Missed out on a free Solitude trigger. I think also my opponent is an Ephemerate deck, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was a pretty bad misplay. Pretty bad misclick. Three, 4, 5. They do have the Ephemerate? No. What is this? Instant Speed Solitude? Okay. That doesn't really do anything. This is definitely going to come down to clock. This is definitely going to come down to the clock. Card nowadays have so much rate. Yep. Yeah, they do. That they do. Very random question, but has there been any playing with a Royal Gracer in the deck as early turn ramp which can jump block as well as get buffed by Kahira? So I think that the principle in the deck is that you're just playing good cards, right? And a Royal Gracer doesn't qualify as one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can do both here. Green, red, blue, white. Prismatic Ending the Omnath. Kill Solitude. F6. Also, the issue with Gracer is that you cannot play Gracer in like a 23 land deck, right? You need to play Gracer in a deck where you know that you're always going to be hitting your land drop. So Gracer works in decks that have stuff like, you know, bounce lands that just naturally work well with it, or things like that. You can just like jam Gracer into any random deck and hope that it's going to do what you want it to do. It's not about draw. Red, green, blue, white. Yawgmoth. Lightning Bolt. Play fetch land. Fetch for an island. Make mana. Fetch for a stomping ground. Kill walkers. Play my dude. Pass the turn. This is what I got, opponent. This is what I got. Yeah, that's why you're supposed to hold your fetch lands. I mean, we are ahead on time, right? We are ahead on time, so maybe if we can steal game 2, we can win on clock. We still have draws here. Like I can draw another Yawgmoth, I can draw a Recent Reef and get that engine going. I can also draw a Cavern of Souls. It's still not correct to play the Kahira, right? Because I need to make sure that if I find Yawgmoth, I can gain life off it. So it's still correct for me to play Cavern. So like, you know, playing the Kahira into the counterspell is not really a mistake. It's just what I have to do. Alright, we're dead here. Are they gonna counterspell my Prismatic Ending? Sure. Whatever. They're playing around Solitude, I guess. But if I had Solitude, I would have already played it. Alright, we're 3 minutes ahead on clock, which is good. So I think we like Rest in Peace because they have some very, very good ways of recurring their shit, and that is a problem for me. Fury is obviously great. I guess the only problem is all my cards are actually just great. Maybe the Flamekins are bad. So we can cut the Flamekins for the Rest in Pieces. I believe they were still had all these seeing us. Yeah, that makes sense. It's fine. Still had all these. I could also just Endurance, but the problem with Endurance is that it stops one Ewit trigger and it doesn't stop like all the other ones that are happening right after that. So I think that the Haymaker and Rest in Peace is just gonna be better. I don't think that this is a bad card, however. I definitely want the first copy to, you know, prevent myself from decking. No, I don't want Force. Maybe the Fairy is the worst of the bunch. Keep this. Do I want to rest in peace on 2? I don't think so. Well, maybe now that I drew the land. The issue with playing rest in peace here is that... No, but they could have Ren, so this is fine. Yeah, they're playing a creature deck more than anything else, 100%. This is also the worst Ice Quaddle deck that has ever existed. They have like 5 Snowlands or something. It's quite bad. It's quite bad. It's pretty funny actually. So what are we getting here? Probably another red source, which means steam vents, blue, red, green, white, green. Blue, red, white, green. They have their own. Oh, prismatic ending. Well, that I can beat. Spike with the raid. Thank you so much, Spike. Welcome everybody from Spike's stream. We're playing some elementals today. Tell Spike he should have played more lands. Did he miss land drops? Spike, you know better than that. Thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome back to the Primetime Stronghold. We can Fury here, get rid of both their threats, or we can just play another Omnath. We're missing another white source, so we can't really protect the Omnath unless we find a land. I think playing the Omnath is just enough of an upside that it's fine. Peeper Teeth, thank you for the follow. Play that, gain some life. This Ice Fang is never, ever been Death Touchy, right? Just never in a million years going to have Death Touch. Also top deck lands, thank you for the follow. That's a good name. They have their own Fury here, or another prismatic ending. Oh, iteration. Well, that's fine, because for 3 mana they can't really do anything to this bad boy. Ice Fang Quaddle. Sure. That's a tough way to do it. But you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Okay, so still no white mana, man. It's pretty rough. So I think that the line here is gonna be to play Fury. Kill both things. And leave white mana up. Conflux, thank you for the follow as well. Where they play land their cast duration. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're feeling like the clock pressure. I think that is fine. John from Spike's Raid, never visited your stream before, but I have listened to Mishra's Babble, love the boss. Oh, thank you, Psychedelic. Yeah, that one needs to go. Well, actually, no, yeah, that one needs to go. that one needs to go. Dude, respect, opponent. Respect. Jamming them Titanias, man. Gotta love it. Still no white mana. Can we find the white mana here? Nope. So we're just gonna send it back. All right. F's in chat for me. F's in chat for me. Still stuck on white. We really have to draw land, don't we? There we go. That's a land. So what now? So we cast this. And they ephemerate. Well, we can also ephemerate. So that one's taking 1, so we're gonna deal 3. And I guess another 1. This is not what I was planning on doing, but it's what I'll have to do now. And I guess we can ephemerate again and kill both of these. I don't think I care so much about these guys though, so I'm just gonna let them go for now. Because Fury keeps them in check, so I'd rather just hold on to the ephemerate. Yeah, Rip does stop Titania, but if I Rip, then I can't protect, right? Being stuck on white mana has been kind of the story of this game. Really? You sure? Yeah, I don't think you want to attack. There's no way they can pump, right? Do they just have a Wrath or something? Fire Spout. Okay, so I guess it was just a free attack. Good old Titania Fire Spout combo deck. Yeah, that one's not very good. All right, so I do like our spot right now. So this gets countered, so it doesn't do anything really. Now we rest in peace. And now we yam. We can play endurance and instant speed if my opponent gets frisky and this Lavinia is feeling it. That means have more white land. Yeah, we have a lot of white lands. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with where we're at right now, I think. You shuffle. Got him. So I don't think there's anything they can really do here. Sar Kursevsky, thank you for the follow. You got a 4-5. Yeah, that's pretty good. Whoops. Think I like our spot. Good, 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 good. A hit on clock, even in games. I'm not really feeling the Time Raveler. I'm not really feeling the Time Raveler. I guess it does kill Titania tokens. Fire Spout is also interesting from my opponent's deck. Like, it just literally kills all of their creatures. It just kills them all. The only thing that they have that survives is Omnath, and I guess Yorion, but they just... Yeah, I think I'm feeling Endurance more than the Time Raveler. Anarchist Dave, thank you for the follow. We're just keeping this? I kind of want to just keep this. Let's just keep this. Now, this hand is fine in this kind of matchup, right? Now, we don't really need to go fast. We just need to have a staying power, and hitting our land drops is a big part of having staying power. Is that dude from Twitter? All right. Welcome. That dude from Twitter. Okay, maybe finding another land is not the best. Not to despair, though. Not to despair. Probably gonna get a Steam Vents here. Ren is bad news. Ren is very bad news for us. Ending is good news. Ending is good news for us. I'll take that top deck. Reef. The answer is yes, please. You got a Quaddle. Put that one into play. So next turn we can hardcast Fury if my opponent goes wide. Or we can just hardcast the Drifter of Mole. I think I'm just gonna cast Mole Drifter here. Let's drift some mole. We mole in, we drift in. Let's go. Fire spout me, opponent. I dare you. I double dare you, opponent, to fire spout me over here. Okay, you got me. Also, these don't death touch. Yep, these don't death touch opponents. I mean, let's keep that engine going, right? I shouldn't have shocked, actually. Because then I would be going to discard. First war problems of just having a million cards and, you know, going to discard and shit. You know. This game is just over though, right? Sure, they have a Ren. Not even close to mattering. Sure, you get your 1-for-1 or 0-for-1, whatever. 1-for-0. Then we just play Omnath and go ham. Okay. Alright. I mean, they 2-for-1 themselves to do that. It is kind of annoying, but it's also kind of just fine. Yep. Well, do you want to block? Do you want to block? You do? Okay, I'll bolt it anyway. Play that tap. Say go. Send it back. Elemental Sea Staffs jam. Hell yeah. I mean, Eternal Wind, this is pretty good. Getting back a Misty. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Just gonna pass here. Can play around Ephemerate. Wall of Foamens resolves. They only have one white source to Fairy. Definitely getting rid of the Ewit. So my opponent can't Ephemerate Ewit. I just don't think they're going to be able to win on time, right? Attack them, attack the Fairy. Still have full grip. Dealing with Jenny. She's much more pretty than you. Wow. You're just gonna shove it in my face like that, Stabs? That's just mean, man. I guess this is not getting better, and this forces, if they do have the Ephemerate, it forces them to use it right now. They don't have the Ephemerate, okay. Six, I'm more pretty than you. All right, that's a win in my book. I'll take that. I will take my W's when they're given to me. That seems important. So now they don't have an engine. We're at 24. We have 2 flyers. We can kill their Fury next turn if we want to. We can kill their wall next turn if they want to. Solitude. Sure. Probably gonna kill one of the drifters. Okay. We're kind of flooding. If I'm being honest, we're kind of flooding here. They showed me a sweeper, so I'm just not gonna jam this Fury into it. They forgot to block. I guess I made a mistake and I should have pinged this as well. Titania, which doesn't do anything. Is this just lethal? I play another Fury. Yeah, this is just lethal. Play another Fury, deal 3 and 1, and then they jump here, they still take 5. Alright. Yeah. Feels good to start like this. 2-0. See you next round. Alright, round number 3. Playing against the Lurrus deck. Shall we keep this? I think so, mostly because of Fury. Oh, this is Scales. Alright, that's hot. That's a Saga. Hangerback Walker. It would be delightful to draw a land. Would be an absolute delight to draw a land. Land? Land? Easy. Ah, blue. Green. This guy. Another Fury. Fury. Pitch Flamekin Harbinger. Land? Good. I want to do this before my opponent gets to have a welding jar off of this thing. Now I think I'm going to chill on this. I'm not too afraid of these Thopter tokens. Not too afraid of these Thopter tokens, and we can get even more value from this Fury next turn, or we can even just hard cast it. Look at my opponent. My opponent definitely needs to exclamation point Fran over there, if I'm being honest. Missing land drops. You love seeing Muldrifter. Yeah, Muldrifter being back is just an absolute delight. Oh no! I think that's good enough. I would like to massacre your board, please. Would like to please massacre your board. Thank you. We can Teferi here, or we can Recent Reef. I think I want to Teferi. Oh, I could have bounced that? I didn't think about bouncing that. That sounds delightful. Furious like Flametone Cabo, but much better. Yep, that's an accurate statement. That is most definitely an accurate statement. Harkbound Mouser, dude. Wow. Arkbound Mouser has entered the battlefield. Oh man. Just gonna find Omnath here, I think. Do I hold this? I think so. We can blow up either one of these at instant speed. Probably that one. We're gonna see what my opponent's doing over there. Ballista. Ballista is definitely the best thing they could have here. So I think we're gonna do that. And I guess I'm gonna pitch the Solitude before it gets its counters. Doesn't matter. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, we're playing against what? Oh, Heartland Scales. So these ones are good. These ones are probably good. Maybe not that many, maybe just 2. The fairies are kind of awkward. Endurance doesn't really do anything. I know Rip stops modular, but like they have Ravagers and that's about it. And Rest in Peace doesn't stop Ossolith, and it doesn't stop like a bunch of other things. They have the 1-drop, but the 1-drop is not very good. Yeah, but they're bad. It's how the deck works. I don't think so. It works with Heartland Scales and it works with Ossolith. I mean, it's probably better than Teferi, but I don't think that the second copy of Rest in Peace is better than any of my other cards. This is a tutor for Solitude and Fury, so I think I want to hold on to this. This is my engine. We can't really cut this. We never cut Omnath. This is just removal for all their shit. Maybe Mold Drifter? But like we need to have some, like we have a bunch of 1-for-1s. Like I think we need a way to recoup. I think I want 1 Rest in Peace and I don't want another one. It's cool seeing Heartland Scales though. I really like that deck. This hand's great. Let's play that and say go. With this matchup, it's just going to be head before you can assemble the board. Well, but that's why I have so many like 1-mana interaction, right? It's because I... Sure, so I guess we're gonna have to blow that up. Gonna get Steam Vents here. Prismatic Ending, the Torpor Orb. And this is why I like Prismatic Ending so much in this deck. Prismatic Ending is just so great. So we can go get a basic forest here. I'm probably gonna bolt the Saga token. Now the question is, do I want to get Flamekin, put Flamekin Harbinger and set up? I think I do. We set up Recent Reef here. We can cast Recent Reef off of this mana. Or we can Omnath next turn if we think that that's better. So Stomping Ground, Flamekin, go find Reef. Pass the turn. Opponent's gonna make a token. Before they untap, can bolt it. Get another token. Piding Needle? Sure. If I Fury here 1 and 3, this dies, right? And they don't get the modular. They do get the counter on the Ossolith though. I think that seems fine to me. I think I'm gonna hold on to this Prismatic. Swing for 1, let's go. Been watching your videos, finally got to watch the stream. Love your content. Oh, thank you, J-Chop. Welcome to the stream. So we kind of have to dodge Ballista. That one doesn't really do anything. That one also doesn't do anything. And that one also doesn't do anything. So you get multiple red sources, but now we want multiple white sources. Cavern. Elemental. I think we just do this. Oh no, we shouldn't have done this. We should have... Never mind, we're fine. I was gonna say we shouldn't have done this. We should have prismatic ending that. This is fine though. They have no cards. They can blow up an artifact. I think we're just gonna win with this Ephemerate. Shouldn't we be ending the Ossolith? No, I want to Ephemerate now that I can. Like, I can't lose as long as I hold up this Ephemerate, right? Even if I tried really, really, really hard, I wouldn't be able to lose if I'm, as long as I'm holding this Ephemerate. Now they blow up their own shit. Pull the tokens. Got me. Now I fetch for a Temple Garden. I guess a Hallowed Fountain. I guess I can do Sacred Foundry. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Well, I don't know if they have another Torpor, right? If they have another Torpor, that's just better. Now I may have to blow up the Ossolith, but... How greedy am I? Because I can also go find another Recent Reef and get that going. Nah, they had no creatures. Feels like the way I lose this game is I get cheesed out by just getting too cute and then whiffing on double Recent Reef for some stupid reason. Omnath, yeah, that's not a whiff. Now we can blow up the Ocelith. White, blue, red, green. Two, three. I guess I do want to blow up Ocelith now, so guess I gotta fetch. Take 4. Ending Ocelith. White, green. All right, sweet. 3-0, baby. All right, here we go. Sure, let's keep this hand. I don't know, man. There's something about just looking at this hand and just seeing all of these lands and just making sure that I'm gonna hit every single land drop, and I just can't ship it. Just can't. Just certificate gave you too much card advantage, not enough stuff to do with it. Yeah. Well, the previous version of Elementals, previous versions of the deck had play cards like, I'm gonna get Sacred Foundry here. Like the Skelemental and stuff like that, which are just, they're just not as good. Yeah, that pitch Elementals just made this deck into the powerhouse that it is. Solitude is just gross in this deck. Just absolutely gross. Skelementals beats up Titan now. Yeah, but like right now everything beats up Titan anyway, so. Also that deck played Fulminator. Stomping Ground into Temple Garden. Devoted Druid. Huh, okay. So I guess I'm gonna Defairy Bounce. Stomping Ground. White, blue, 1 Defairy. Prismatic Ending beats Titan. Yeah, there's many things that beat Titan. kind of choose your poison in terms of, you know, beating Titan. You got a lot of options. Lightning Greaves has been revealed. Now that's a card. Might be time to bust out Devoted Amulet again. Those were the times. Grove of the Burn Willows. Alright, my opponent's doing some good stuff over there. I am loving everything that's going on. I am loving every single thing that my opponent's got going on over there. Imperial Recruiter. Alright. For Vizier. Okay. Swing at Tef, that's fine. I have to Prismatic End in the Grief, so my opponent cannot haste the Devoted Druid. My playing EDH didn't tell you. You never know. So I have to kill the Greaves, and then I'm gonna Fury my opponent's board. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do here is get a forest, play this, we're gonna get Solitude. Either Cloud with the 3-1 thank you so much for the 6 months. Appreciate it. And now I can Teferi. I can Teferi plus. Louder, thank you for the follow. I can Teferi plus. Yeah, I guess I have to Teferi plus. This is not Reanimator. No, it isn't. that's a very accurate observation. Well, if I do that, if I Fury their board, my opponent kills me. We know they have the combo in hand. But I have Solitude up. Yeah, that's fair. They're playing Collected Company. Wow. My opponent's list is all over the place. Well, I guess this forces the hand on the Fury, right? I have to Fury both of these. Their deck is way cooler than ours. I mean, no arguments here. They're probably playing, what, like 24 creatures, 25 creatures, maybe? Because they need room for Finale, they need room for, like, a Stoneforge package. That seems like a lot, you know? No, they're trying to set something up. My opponent's playing this game very well. They're playing this game super well. They're holding up Greaves, Vizier, and what's his name in hand? 27 hits. It's not that bad. From their last 5-0. It's not that bad. It does look like a lot of fun. So I think I want to evoke Muldrifter. No Ephemerate because I'm extremely unlucky. But those are not the worst. There's still a Temple Garden in my deck, so I'm gonna hold on to that. Let's play Recent Reef. See another Recent Reef. So we're gonna have to bounce their Giver. Because otherwise they're gonna be able to protect their shit. And next turn, I think we may be able to like do the thing. Do the thing. Opponent be grieving. So this removes the protection, right? How does this work? This removes the protection. This removes the haste from the Giver. I'm dead though, right? So how does this work? This doesn't have protection anymore, but now it has Shroud. And the second that the Vizier hits play, I'm dead. I mean, I'm not dead, they just have infinite mana, but... So I think I can't prevent that from happening. Maybe I was supposed to ending the Giver, I guess, instead of bouncing. This was a close game. Like I'm definitely getting punished for like not being familiar with my opponent's deck list and like not being familiar with like what they're doing over there, you know? So I guess I should have ending the Giver last turn instead of bouncing it. And I could have prevented this from happening. I think that would be correct. I mean, we also need their last card to be another Finale, right? Or a Walking Ballista. Otherwise, we just win. But I may have punted this game. In fact, I very likely did. $42 mana. Show me the win condition. We know one of their cards in hand is a Batterskull, which just doesn't do anything right now. Like, this is not infinite anymore. They still have to kill me here, so... Did they find it? Maybe they did. Walking ballista. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I feel like I could have won this game if I had, you know, known a little bit more about my opponent's deck. But, you know, it is what it is. So endurance, no bueno. Engineered explosives, very bueno. Teferi seems okay. Like, I'm not psyched about it or anything, but it's just okay. Rest in Peace seems reasonable. I think this is the setup that I want. But yeah, I think it's very likely I could have won that game if I had played a little bit differently. But you know, I don't know my opponent's deck list, so. Why don't know what Viridian Longbow? Because Viridian Longbow plus Devoted Druid plus Vizier is infinite. Mentor thing will follow. It's an instant win. Keep. Got the engine, got the removal. They have Zero Graveyard Synergy. I think so too. But I may be wrong there. So you got 2 looks at a land. They're playing Monkey. Well, that's fucked up. How are they gonna be playing Monkey, dude? Sometimes they play Postmortem Lunge. Again, I don't know my opponent's deck list, so I couldn't tell you. Not bad? Not bad at all. At least that's not a land, right? Which is what I need here. What a joke of a card, man. When are we gonna ban like Lurrus or like this shit? Like, everything seems like a lot. Everything being legal and something that people can do seems like a lot. All right. Vision Holy Heat didn't exist. And Holy Heat is fine. They're not gonna play Recent Reef. You're crazy, opponent. Crazy. Green, blue, 1. Fairy. Am I evoking another Fury? I don't think so. don't think so. I'm gonna Coco and end step. So I may just die here. Or finale. I guess they could also finale because of Tef. Yep. So I may just be dead now. But there's nothing I can do. Like, flipping that Teferi off of the first monkey hit is literally the best possible thing that could have happened for them. Just absolutely nuts. You got me. Yeah. Alright, you get infinite mana. Teferi looks pretty good in your deck, opponent. Alright. That's fucking ridiculous, dude. That is absolutely ridiculous. Fuck this card, man. Ugh. Anyway, see you next round. Alrighty. Last round. I think I'm keeping this. We may miss a land drop, which would be sad, but it's fine. Couldn't I have just killed the monkey? Yeah, but I was thinking that it was worth to take a hit, because like my opponent needs to get extremely lucky, right? Like they need to find exactly that. Like they just need to find exactly the freaking the Teferi in order to do what they did. Sure, I could have 2-for-1 myself to prevent that from happening, but that's like it's not the best deal. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be able to kill my Tef, but at least they can't. At least Will cannot. They can't evolve this, you know. Reef is just a sicko draw there. Reef is like the sickest draw of all time. I have another Solitude in hand, so I think I'm gonna do this right now. Now we're pitching up Nath, which is obviously not great, but this leaves him with no board. And this is also a time walk, because anything that they play is gonna get pitched by is gonna get caught by the Solitude for free. Sure. So I guess I'm gonna blink Solitude because it gives me a card. Fairy. Guess I'm just bolting here. We can pitch if we need to. If we don't need to pitch, we can just just gonna play Yogg. Play another Grist. Yeah, I know Will. He won an SCG Open with my deck list. Will's great. Think this is fine. Well, that's just easy mode, right? Just hardcast Fury now. One, one, two. Swing, kill this. Oh yeah, Yog. This look good. Endurances are kind of fine, but also they're pretty hard to time sometimes. On the draw explosives does seem a little bit slow. Maybe I don't even want the explosives, period. Could also see that being a thing. Okay. I think I'm keeping this hand. Luba Say, think of the follow. So we can go turn 1 Reef. Flame Keen for recent Reef. Get that going. That's just like a clean answer though. That's the guy. That's the guy we were looking for. Giraffe Messenger. Funny that thanks to Woodward we could, if we wanted to, we could prismatic ending 4, 5. Okay, so it's not looking good now. I think we're gonna die. If he has any way of getting Yogg, we're dead. If we untap, I think we're going to win because we can just go get Flame Keen for Solitude and just go nuts. But if he does have a Yogg, we're probably dead here. Okay. That means we keep on playing. Okay, and that's their entire hand, so... Take 7, that's a 2-turn clock from them. We could go Shock, tutor for Fury, 1, 2, 1, and 2, but then we can't ephemerate if I do that. 1, 2, 1, and 2. That's probably the line anyways. Green, blue, 1, Reef. This. Stack them like so we can go tutor for Fury. Get Fury. Fury, Peach, Bolt. Agent 56 with the Prime Sub coming back for 9 months. Thank you so much, Agent. Much appreciated. So I can kill both of these. Now it's just better to do 1, 2, 1, and 1. Put that into play. And now we can chump with Giraffe Messenger. We die to Yogg. Okay, so white, green, blue, red. That's a Fury. That's a Solitude. Right there. Exile that. Boom. Fine land. This is at 3, so I think I'm just gonna bold it. Should have attacked if I was gonna bold, by the way. How the tables have turned. Or how the turns have tabled. However you want to see it. However you want to see it. Protection from humans, not elementals. Yep. Yep. All right. Another 4-on-1. When testing for the showcase, I play only one league with this deck, and I also went 4-on-1. So this is the new 80% machine. Is that what we're talking about here? Is that what we're talking about? The 80% machine? Which is good. This is very much an 80% win rate stream, so it brings me back to my roots. It brings me back to my roots. But yeah, I've been happy with this deck list. I think I'm just gonna play another league. So if you enjoyed that one, maybe you will enjoy the next one as well. And while you're doing that, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.